I'm here tonight for the Lions Club. The Lions Club put a circus on. We made, on the circus, about $900. And if we didn't have generous donations, which we had from a few people, we would have only made about $400 because we had to pay for firefighter. We've done all sorts of things in this town for the last 50 years. We've had hundreds of different things that we've done, put on. We've had circuses, we've had carnivals, the Fall Festival. We used to tie up the center of the town for the Fall Festival. We've never had to pay for a permit. We've never had to pay for fire. We've never had to pay for police. I don't know where this is coming from. If you do this, and you do this to the charity town in this town, you're not going to have any charities in this town. Nobody is going to volunteer to go out and make money for people that need the money, and then have to pay fire and police $87 an hour and $78 an hour, whatever the hell it is, for overtime for them. They're not going to do it. You people can't let this go. If you let this go, you will not have any charities whatsoever.
It's a hard problem. You've got requirements that we have to meet for safety, public safety, that do require for events different requirements that were not in place 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago. Some of those things do cost money. We do work very hard to make sure that we can provide that support, both our police chief and our fire chief and the policemen and firemen, fire personnel involved, to do it as cost effectively as possible.
Why is there public safety now and there wasn't before?
Different
For
chiefs.
the last 50 years in this town.
risks.
I share some of your anxiety, I don't know, worry, angst over this, because I've been trying to do some events myself recently, trying to get some things going, and it's very frustrating. But I will say that at one time when we had the chief here, there was mention about how there used to be a budget for community policing. I believe that's what he said, and I don't want to misquote him, but I believe that's what he said. And so my thought on the matter is that, you know, I personally think we have to let the police chief and fire chief do their job. I would really like to investigate bringing back whatever that budget was for community policing, so that when these types of events come up and there's a need, as defined by the police chief or fire chief, that there's a well to go to.
We have experts, our police chief and our fire chief. It's not the same world it was 40 years ago or 20 years ago. They know this better than we do, and if they determine from a public safety perspective they need coverage there, I'm going to listen to them. Now, whether we can figure out a way to pay for it more
Don't you
effectively.
three people run the town? Aren't you over the fire and police? You can't go back to what it was before?
I am not the boss of the fire department or the police department.
This is ludicrous, absolutely
May I-
stupid.
may I-
So what you're basically saying is when we have an event, we have to figure in $82 an hour to have somebody stand there.
I would say that we, for any public event where public people are going to gather in numbers of 100, 200, 300, we are going to listen to the public safety concerns of our fire chief and our police chief, and we will act in accordance with those concerns, because they are the experts.